Welcome back to another portfolio update. Going to show you everything that's going on with my crypto investments today that I have in the Drip Faucet, the Drip Garden, and Elephant Money. Going to talk a little bit about how my strategies have changed and what my strategies will be moving forward, at least for the next couple of weeks. I find that my strategies seem to change quite often, and I think some of you might be dealing with the same thing, but that's okay. We're allowed to change our strategies. We are allowed to have strong beliefs that are weakly held, meaning believe in the research that you've done and the investments that you have made. But if more facts come along, be willing to accept those facts and change your opinions. I think that's a very important principle in DeFi. So we're going to talk about that a little as we go through. Stay tuned because I got a great video for you guys today. This is Into Crypto, a channel I started to share my journey into decentralized finance. Here you will get to see weekly videos of an average Joe investor, myself, start with a minimal amount of capital and attempt to make it big in the crypto space. I will show you everything that happens in my portfolio with full transparency, no matter how bad it may get. I should mention I am not a financial advisor and all my content is intended for entertainment and education only. You should always do your own research before making any investments. If you would like to join the Into Crypto community or you just want to learn more about the crypto space, please check out the links below. And while you're down there, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's get into crypto. So as you can see from my summary, I've actually added $800 more. My total assets are still dropping, and that's because of Drip. And my daily earnings are going down, my ROI, everything's down basically, right? Because I'm super heavily invested in Drip. I think that's over half of my portfolio, and obviously the price of Drip going down is going to affect that. But, we're not worried about it. We're in this for the long term. The important part is that we learn from our mistakes. And no loss is a loss if you learn from your mistakes and you don't make the mistake again. So I think that's a really important principle, just like having strong beliefs that are weakly held. I mentioned that in the intro, that do your research on these protocols, do what you have to believe in them, make your investment, but don't be so thick-skulled that when new information comes along you aren't willing to accept it. That is the difference between a hype trader or a hype investor and a real investor that's willing to say, look, okay, I might have made the wrong investment here, but that's all right. This was my mistake, A, B, and C. I'm not going to do those things again. I'm going to move on and I'm going to make money on my next investment. So that's super important. So first up, we have the Drip Garden. If any of you are in the Drip Faucet, if any of you are in Drip with me, I'm feeling the pain too. You can see that the price has dropped down to 33 bucks in the low 30s. I think a lot of people are wondering what's going on. I think there is a lot of FUD out there, kind of against Forex Shark, because I think that what's going on with Animal Farm is rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. But I do think that Forex Shark is in this for the long term. I do think he sees the pain that he's having in the community, and he's not making himself very available, but the silver lining on that is it could be because he's working really hard to fix things for us. So I still believe in this project. I'm not going to be changing my strategy as far as the Drip Faucet goes. I will still be compounding daily and just seeing where it goes. It comes back to don't invest more than you're prepared to lose, and in this case I have not done that, even though the assets that I have invested into the Drip Garden, the Drip Faucet, I keep doing that, have depreciated quite a bit. I think that there's a lot of long-term potential here, so we're going to see where it goes. I know hope is not an investment strategy, but we're kind of hanging on to hope a little bit here, but the hope is based on facts, right? Forex Shark is a great developer. He's done some great projects, and I do believe he's listening to the community. I think just because he's not really active and being out there and communicating, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I do think that it would be a lot better if his communication with his community was a little bit more on point, but like I said, the silver lining there could just be that he's got his nose to the grindstone and he is working hard to get us back. So you can see that my assets have gone up to, I've got 13 drip now, and like I said, I'm still compounding every day. I haven't made a single withdrawal from the faucet. Now, claimed over here, that's just what happens when you hydrate. It goes under your claimed column, but I haven't actually made any withdrawals yet, so I'm gonna keep going with it. My daily earnings are dropping a little bit, even though the amount of drip that I have is going up, because obviously the price is going down. So let's jump over to the dashboard and see what that looks like. So I had another person join my team. I really appreciate the support, guys. I'm getting a lot of support from my YouTube videos. Unfortunately, I just can't justify getting the B-Reap to start getting referral rewards yet, because the ROI there, I think, is going to be like almost 200 days, and I think that my money would just be better suited in some other opportunities right now. So unfortunately, not going to be doing any airdrops anytime soon, but I do appreciate the support very much. If you want to join my team, you can, if that's okay with you, as far as, you know, maybe not getting airdrops for a little while. But there's a lot of great YouTubers out there that do have referrals that are doing a lot of airdrops. So check out some of them if you're looking for a team that's actually going to send you some money in the near future. So you can see my deposits, 13.038, claimed 4.269. That's exactly what you see on my spreadsheet. And the next thing I wanted to talk about was a little bit about the analytics. You can see we've got 79 new accounts today, 11,000 this month, and I think that's down from last month. If we look here, yeah, so I think we'll probably hit about half what we did last month, which is good. It's still growing, right? And not as rapidly. So like, this is where we saw that hike to $200 per drip, or I think it was like $170 per drip. You know, so we are still getting new people in, and then you can see down here, here's the graph of the deposit range for all of the players, and we do have 55,000 people still in this. But you know, it's weird, every time I look at this, it says 55,089, and I've noticed that this number is not changing. So I wonder if that's something wrong with the back end on this, but it doesn't seem like these numbers are really changing very much. It could be because new people are coming in and these people are moving to the next tier. I haven't really been tracking every single tier, but I have been keeping an eye on this number, and I do think it's odd that it's actually not increasing or decreasing. It's staying at 55,089. So we'll take a look at that again next week and see where it's at. But what I did want to mention about this is that these people, when all these people got in, it was fresh capital, right? And that's when we saw this big hike over here with the monthly new accounts. But now, you know, a lot of these people, I'm sure it's not, they're going to be hydrating and they're taking drip out of circulation, right? But they're not paying for that drip. They're just hydrating it. And now this is not FUD, right? This is just facts. This is a very fine line, and I want you guys to know that, you know, I'm obviously invested in drip too. I'm not trying to FUD the project, but I do want to point out that these people compounding are going to be taking it out of circulation, but that price isn't going to go up because there's no liquidity being added, right? So for the price to go up or down, there has to be money coming in, and these people have already brought their money in. So it'll be interesting to see what happens as they move through, start taking more drip out of circulation but not adding liquidity. I'm interested to see where that goes. So just some of my thoughts. Like I said, not trying to FUD the project. I do believe it's got some long-term potential, and I do think that Forex knows what he's got to do to make it successful. But what, I don't know. I'm excited to see. So moving on to the drip garden. Same thing with drip. It's dropping in price. The drip BUSDLP is tied to the price of drip. So, you know, obviously we're seeing a drop here. And my assets have taken a hit. They're down 50%. But the number of plants, I've reached 1,000 plants, which is kind of the lucky number. That's the magic number, so to speak, because at 1,000 plants, your daily plant production increases by 1 plant every day. And that's when you really start to see the snowball effect. But you can see my daily LP is down, my daily LP production, and that's because of the decay. So something I want to point out here is that it's probably not a good idea to have the same strategy between drip network and the drip garden, and that's for the single reason that the decay, the earnings decay, is coded into the protocol. So I hear a lot of people saying that, oh, I'm just going to be compounding right now. And that's cool. If that's what you want to do, because you're hoping the price of the drip will go back up and you want to have your daily LP production as high as possible when that happens, that's great. That's your strategy. But you got to think that if that doesn't happen, and again, not FUD, just talking what ifs, if the price of drip doesn't recover, if it plateaus here at $30, or it keeps dropping, it compounded with the decay that's coded into the protocol, your earnings are just going to keep going down and down, and there will be a point, mark my words, because of the program, the way it's made, that your daily earnings will go to zero. The plants are dropping in value and they're not going to stop. So if you're not pulling profits at least a little bit along the way, when that happens, you're going to have a bajillion plants here that are all worth a millionth of a penny, and you're going to be producing a lot of plants, but they're not going to be worth anything. So it's a different strategy because it's a different protocol. With drip, you can kind of hang on to hope a little bit more and keep compounding and wait for Forex to come out with some use cases. But with the drip garden, in my opinion, I don't think that's a good strategy. Again, not financial advice. Nothing I say is financial advice. This is just my own thoughts about how to do the investments. But I think it would be really smart that the more you withdraw, the more your decay is, but the more you reduce your risk. The more you compound, the less your decay is, but the higher your risk, because you don't know, we really don't know if the price of drip is going to go back up and we're going to be able to start making large withdrawals. So you can see I've made six withdrawals here, and notice each one is getting less and less. That's because of the decay, right? Even though my plants are going up, the plants are worth less, so my withdrawals are worth less. So this is the best way to hedge your risk in the garden, is to make withdrawals seldomly, right? You don't want to withdraw every day because then your earnings are going to tank, right? So you can see they're pretty spread out. I was doing it every few days here. Now I'm down to every 5 days, but I do think it's smart to at least hedge your risk a little bit, pull out a little. If we look at this dashboard here, now I'll leave the link for this in the description. This is analytics for your wallet. You can put your wallet address in here, hit apply, don't have to connect it, so nothing to be worried about as far as scams, but it does show a few interesting things here, right? So I've got this graph, there's all of these metrics here. You can turn them on or off by clicking them, but I want to show you LPs harvested, right? So LPs harvested aren't going up, right? They're kind of maintaining an average line here. I wouldn't call this a negative or positive slope. I think it's probably more of like a plateau, and this one's just low because it's early in the day today. But you can see people aren't starting to pull out more, so people are still compounding. And this is another stat that I want to talk about, is the doom days, right? So this is a statistic that is based on the theoretical or hypothetical scenario where everybody withdraws the maximum amount every day without compounding. If that happened, it would take 31 days, right? Which we see it's not happening. That's absolutely not happening. Plants compounded, boom, right? So again, it's early in the day, that's why this stat is low, but you can see the number of plants compounded is still going up. So people are compounding. So this is actually, I've seen this fluctuate between 30 days and 31.3, 31.4 days, which is good, right? So it means if you're compounding more than you're harvesting, you're going to be able to do that for a long time. And it's slow and steady wins the race with this protocol. So I think it's really smart to make sure that you're withdrawing at least a little bit with this one. If you just want to compound every day until the price of drip goes back up, that's totally fine. If we look at the actual graph here, so you can see here, 1 withdrawal, 2 withdrawals, 3 withdrawals. This is where I forgot to compound before I went to bed. 4 withdrawals, 5 withdrawals, and then This is my sixth withdrawal this morning. But notice the decay here, right? So this is kind of a positive slope. This is a negative slope. That's a negative slope. But if you look here, we're kind of coming back into an area where the decay is slowing down, right? So this is a positive slope here. This is a horizontal slope, or no slope, right? So that's a good sign. But you know, obviously when you withdraw, your earnings do take a hit, but I'm okay with that because every time I make a withdrawal, I increase the ROI on my wallet. I get closer to an actual ROI, and I hedge my risk a little bit more in case that price just tanks and all of a sudden my garden's not worth anything. So if we come down here, this is my wallet. You can actually see LPs harvested. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So full transparency, you guys can see I've made 6 deposits. That's what's actually showing up on my wallet. And right here, wallet ROI, I've got 49 LP to go. I've got 21% ROI, so I still have 78% to go before I fully ROI and get everything I've invested back. So just chipping away at this every 5 days, getting this up closer to 100%. And once that's at 100%, don't know what my strategy is going to be at that point. I guess we'll have to look and see what the price is. Will I get to 100%? I don't even know that, you know, like there's no way to tell, but I want to get as close to this as 100% as possible before the decay just takes my garden to nothing. And there's some other graphs that you can look at down here, but that's basically what I wanted to talk about with the drip garden. Again, I'll put all of these analytics tools down in the description, and you can check them out. Look at your own wallet. If you got any questions, you can hit this person up on Telegram. I've actually joined the group, and they're very responsive. They'll answer questions if you have questions about the graph. So next is Elephant Money, and this is the one that I am super excited about. If you're new to my channel, you might have joined because you saw my Elephant Money deep dive video where I went into the protocol. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link in the description. It talks about how the rewards are generated and how this protocol is unique because it's not a Ponzi system. It does not need new investors coming in to maintain rewards. The way that it's set up, the rewards are generated a couple of ways, but the real innovative way is that the rewards are generated through reflections. And so that means that if investors want to take profits on their elephant token, that still helps the system. So investors coming in and going out are actually adding to the network and the ecosystem, which in my opinion is an extremely innovative way to have a protocol coded. This is actually my #1 investment right now. This is where my fresh capital is going. So as you can see here, like I said, I invested $800 more at the beginning of the video this last couple of weeks, and it all went into Elephant Money. I split it up between Elephant Token and Stampede. So you can see here that my trunk is up to 501 in my Stampede, and my earnings are at 28 bucks. So let's take a look at my Elephant Money dashboard. Here you can see that I have $501 bonded. That's going to be over $1,000 at maturity. And I do have 10 people that have joined my team. Like I said, thank you so much for the support. We will be doing airdrops soon. So if you're on my team and you're not in my Telegram group, make sure you join. Let's jump over to Elephant Token. This is really awesome here. Like I said, I put about 400 bucks into this. The reason there's a negative right here is because of the taxes when I put the money in, there's a 10% buy-sell tax, and that took me into a negative profit and loss. But you can see since then the price has skyrocketed, right? Almost over doubled, yeah. And so I'm 185% ROI right now on my Elephant Money. So you can see that the 379 plus 425 bucks is now worth 877. So this is a combination of the price appreciating and the number of elephant I've been airdropped. So I haven't purchased any more between here and here. So you can see that almost 10 million more elephant have been airdropped to my wallet since I've purchased. So That's quite a powerful tool of earning. So I'm making money on appreciation and on reflections. So let's jump over to elephant. So you can see here, 3 point. So this might be a little bit more than what you just saw because of the reflections. Yeah, so my total stake is 1/1000th of a percent. That's how much of the reflections I get. So of all of them that are generated, I earn 1/1000th of a percent. But like you just saw, that's still been in the last not even 2 weeks in almost 10 million more tokens. So my current strategy with Elephant is I'm going to be putting probably 70% of my fresh capital into Elephant token and 30% of my fresh capital into bonds. I do want to grow this, but right now the appreciation on Elephant token is actually more than the 0.56% a day. So I'm going to be putting most of my capital here, and my strategy is to get this up to maybe 50 to 100 billion, depending on how much the price appreciates. And that might take me a year or so. And once I get to that point, the reflections that I generate, I'm going to skim the reflections off the top, and I will put that into my Stampede bonding. So if I get to 100 billion balance, I will never sell less than 100 billion. I'm always going to hold 100 billion, but as that starts to increase with the reflections I get, so when I get to 105 billion, I'll sell 5 billion, put that money into trunk. So this will just kind of be a constant wealth generator for me to keep adding to my bonds. And then as long as I'm rolling my bonds more than I'm claiming, these bonds will stay healthy and keep paying out for as long as the platform remains active, which could be a fairly long time. I think if there is a protocol out there right now that has potential to last 5+ years, it is Elephant Money. So if you're not invested in Elephant Money, check out my videos down below. It's an incredible platform, truly innovative in the space. That's all I got for you guys. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch. If you have any questions about my strategy, you can comment in the description of this video. You can join my Telegram group. Be super excited. We've got a community that's growing really fast, so would love to have you be a part of it. Until next time, guys, have a good one.